Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of flipping e-waste PCs until I can make a profit. Right now we have these two listings up on Gumtree, the iMac and the small form factor computer. I've gotten one offer on the small form factor computer, but not on the iMac just yet. But if we sell both of these, we will be very, very, very close to breaking even on how much we spent. We have made a total of $0, but we have spent $200 on all the computers. This video, I'm going to be showing you guys one of the problematic systems that I want to get running, and I'll show you just exactly what I do when I mean I'm refurbishing a computer. So the first thing we are going to be doing is pulling out the CD drive. This proved much more of a challenge than it actually would seem. These weird Dell Optiplex small form factor cases really don't have a lot of compatibility with being worked on, but with enough pulling, enough unscrewing, and enough removal of cases and covers, we eventually got it out. Next thing we are going to be doing is introducing a bit of a RAM upgrade. So we are going to be upgrading this from a 4 gig system, which barely gives you any wiggle room with Windows 10, to an 8 gig system. This is all DDR3, but the memory speed shouldn't matter too much since these are just being sold as productivity and workstation computers. So now we are going to be removing the heatsink and getting rid of all the crusted up thermal paste. So I'm just going to unscrew all these heatsink fans right here. These have little springs that make sure that it applies constant pressure, so unscrewing them can be a bit of a challenge. As you can see, I'm inspecting to see if I'm actually getting the spring out or not. Now here, as I lift the heatsink, boom, you can see all of that really, really old crusted up thermal paste. That is no good. So kind of like a man going through a divorce, the way we're going to deal with this is copious amounts of alcohol, and we're just going to spray that all the way on there and rub all of that crusty thermal paste straight off that heatsink so we can apply some new thermal paste. Alright, so now that we have some of this thermal paste, we are going to chuck a little glob of that on the CPU, and then we are going to rescrew the heatsink back onto the CPU to make sure that the thermal paste gets spread out evenly and properly, and that should keep the system much cooler than it was with that old silicon paste. And that should about do it for this system. Alright, so right now we're having an issue with getting it to boot and give a video signal. I'm going to try and just run it in single channel with a few different sticks of RAM just to see if it's a bad stick. Could be a bad slot, we don't know. Now it just turns straight off. We are, alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I finally got that computer working, and it should be up on Gumtree by the time I release the next part of this series. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and comment down below what you would like to see in the next video of this series. Anyway, peace.